fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat. Or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today I am going to be working on my shaman kit. This is my kit for DP for Pets for our diamond paint along this month. I am so close to being done. I have 6 sections left. So let me zoom into where I'm going to be working and I will be right back. Okay, let me get started here and start off by jumping into my life update. So what's going on in my life? Got some things going on this week. To start off the week, we got our couch back. One of the cushions on the chaise part of it was ripping at the seams, so we sent it in for them to repair. I thought they would strip it off and re-sew it or something, or give us a new cover. It looks like to me all they did is put some no fray stuff on it, which I could have done myself. It is holding so far, so we'll see. Hubby was not super thrilled that that's all they did with it, but I'm sure they're trying to just spend as little money repairing it as possible since we just bought it a couple months ago. But that kind of makes it even more annoying that we just bought it a couple of months ago. However, I told hubby they fixed it, whatever. We'll just see how it goes. I think it's going to hold. From looking at it, what I can tell, I think it's going to hold, so I think it'll be okay. Then later in the week, it was just turned into kind of a cluster. So brother-in-law called hubby and said, I'm buying a new riding mower. You guys have a trailer, right? Hubby says yes. Well, can you go pick it up for me? Some riding mower that he wanted to get that was on sale, but they didn't have any in the town we lived in, so we needed to drive to a town that was like an hour away to pick it up. So this was like Wednesday, I think. And we waited around because the brother-in-law was like, as soon as we get it all done and paid for, I'll email you the receipt. They know you're going to come pick it up, all this kind of stuff. So it was only supposed to take like an hour. And we were planning on leaving around 9 a.m. 1 p.m. rolls around and we still haven't heard anything. Brother-in-law's been going back and forth. Well, it turns out that the mower has to be assembled. So we have to wait for them to assemble it, which means it won't be done until the next day. So we wasted half of our day, which was annoying. So we're like, okay, is it going to be done tomorrow? Yeah, they'll have it done by tomorrow. Are you sure they're going to have it done? Yeah, okay. So we got up early in the morning. Brother-in-law got up early, called the place. Yes, it was done. Yes, it was assembled. Yes, we can come pick it up. So we all pile in the car with the trailer hooked up, drive up there, get up there. My youngest and I waited in the car. Hubby goes inside to get everything settled. After about 20 minutes, he comes back out, and I'm like, what took so long? Because he should have just gone in, said, I'm here to pick it up, and we picked it up. It was already all paid for and everything. And he's like, well, they couldn't find it. Then they're like, oh, it has to be assembled. And we're like, they called and said it was assembled. Is it not assembled? Oh, yeah, it's assembled. Hang on, we don't remember where we put it. So he waits for them to go find it. Oh, okay, it's out back. Can you drive around back? Yeah. Do you have a trailer to put it in? Yes. Oh, so you're picking it up today. I'm just like, okay. So get the new one in the trailer. It's all assembled. Hubby says, well, did you guys test it? Oh, we don't do that. Well, how do you know you've assembled it properly? Well, you'll just have to test it out. We don't do that. So we haul it an hour back home, take it to the brother-in-law's, and get it off the trailer. He tries it out. Had to put gas in it, of course. Tries it out. Everything was working fine, so he's happy. And we load up the old one. And he had told us that he was needing a part for it and he couldn't find one. So hubby's like, well, can we take it? And then if I can fix it, then basically we just got a free riding lawnmower. And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. So my son and I, or my husband and son, load up the old mower onto the trailer. We take it home. Hubby unloads it and just on a whim hops on and tries to cut a little piece of grass that is right by the shed where he's parked the trailer. It works fine. Nothing wrong with it. I don't know if brother-in-law just wanted a new tractor trailer. I don't know, or a lawnmower. I don't know. I don't know what was, if he really thought it was broken. I mean, it's not the nicest looking one, but it was free and it works. So hubby is thrilled. I guess that's an expense we don't have to spend now, which is nice. We unloaded the rest of the stuff of the trailer. Hubby's had the trailer parked up by the house because we had been loading stuff from it. And there really was not a whole lot left in it other than like his work stuff and some odds and ends and our total gym that we brought with us. And that may seem like a weird thing to have brought with us, but we had just purchased it, so it was just a couple months old before we moved, and it folded up flat, so we could fold it up and it didn't take up any space. So we decided to put it out in the shed so we can open the doors and get a breeze blowing if it's hot out there, all that stuff. Anyway, the people who used to own the house before we bought it had come over to pick up some stuff that they had left. They had run electricity out to it. They were going to use it as like a party place, so it has electricity out there, no water. He hadn't got the water run yet, but he does have the pipes run under the ground, so it shouldn't be too much trouble to hook it all up. So while we were out there, we were talking about what we want to do to it to turn it into like a little apartment space and how we could make it work for someone to live out there and what we want to do. It's really close to the property line. It's like a shed, and then there's like a little add-on section on the side. And the side section is super close to the property line and to the guy behind us, his trees. And they're really nice big pine trees, but I was like, this is an add-on afterthought anyway. It doesn't match the rest of the shed. I'd rather rip all this off. And my son and my husband are like, was this so much storage space and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why do we need it? If you're gonna, because there's a loft in it, and we were debating whether to make the loft upstairs where the bed goes. Because I was arguing that not everybody's going to want to climb stairs to go to a loft bedroom. But I mean, this is basically something that we were planning on turning into an apartment for my son anyway, if he's fine with it. So we were just discussing various plans and how we could change things and everything. So got the total gym set up out there. Hubby got the riding lawnmower set up the way he wants. We got the trailer parked out there. It was kind of funny because after we got the trailer parked there, it's been up by the house, and because it's been so close to the house, it kind of blocks some of your view down the rest of our property. So when he moved it down by the shed, not only does it make our backyard seem bigger because now that thing is not parked right by the window so you can see farther, but also it's parked up by this big shed. So now the trailer seems super tiny, which is kind of weird because it just has looked really big because it was parked right in front of your face. Of course, the ground slopes down towards the shed too, so that's probably part of it. Just makes it seem smaller. But I'm excited now that he's talked to the guy and we know there's not enough electrical. They just ran a small panel out there, just have some lights for people to go in there. I'm assuming at some point they probably plan to put in a bathroom or at least a sink of some sort because was talking about running the water down there. So I'm excited to maybe look into that. Maybe it won't be as expensive as we thought because he's already done a bunch of the prep work, but we'll see. It did all of that, did at least all of the stuff with the lawnmower, did at least motivate hubby to get all of his stuff out of the trailer. We were putting all the totes down in the basement, and then I realized we still have all these totes left over from when we moved because we didn't want to just throw them away. I mean, they're nice plastic totes. We bought them brand new for the move. All they did was sit in the back of the trailer while we moved here in November. And then hubby and I were looking online and we saw there's a guy locally that's been selling those raised planter beds. We keep meaning to stop and ask the guy how much he wants for them and all that kind of stuff. We tried when we lived back in Kansas, and I think I planted everything too late and I didn't get anything to grow, but I really want to do this. And we saw something, I think he saw it on Facebook or something, somebody who had basically just taken a couple of pallets and sort of made like that bed, but then put two of those totes in it. And then they were going to line the totes and put the potting soil in that and use those as their garden beds. And I thought, oh, that's a smart idea and a way to use those totes that were just going to be sitting around. And then I was like, well, do I want to plant my food in a plastic container like that? Like, I assume there's a difference between food grade plastic and just like plastic totes that you're using to move things. And then I was like, well, but a lot of people line their gardens with like that plastic sheeting to keep weeds and stuff down. So does that matter? Like if we lined it with that and then put the potting soil and everything in it, like what do they say? We eat a credit card's worth of microplastic every week already. I don't want to put more plastic in my food. Has anybody heard of doing that, using totes like that? When you stop and think about it, there are people using all kinds of plastic to grow their food in, but I don't know, am I overthinking it? Should we be using it for that? It'd be a lot simpler, I think. We can get some free pallets from my husband's oldest, get my youngest to build them into a little thing that'll hold or just put the totes out there on some kind of cheap table or something so they're waist high. I don't know. Like I said, it seemed like a simple solution until I started overthinking it. So maybe I just shouldn't worry about it. When we were at the Canadian Tire store, I did buy some seeds. I still need to get out and plant my sunflower seeds. Every time I go out there to plant, it starts to rain, which I suppose isn't a bad thing. I just don't want to be digging out in the garden in the rain. I don't ever seem to get back out there. Maybe I'll do that later today. Although we're supposed to be going over to the in-laws for barbecue later. Barbecue. He's going to grill. We're having hamburgers and hot dogs for Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to any fathers out there that are watching, or any of you are taking the place of somebody's father. Thank you so much for doing that. Oh, more home repairs. I mean, I have a whole list of things that we keep trying to knock off. We've done some ceiling from when we had the energy efficiency guy come in. We had a couple of spots on like baseboards and a couple of doors around the trim where air was coming in and out. So hubby has sealed those up with silicone. We have other various projects and things that we want to do. There's some lights outside. We want to paint, which we have the paint, we just haven't done it yet. I don't know, I think things are feeling a little bit more normal. I was just telling him yesterday the Canadian Football League season has started. So this weekend he's been watching football and racing. So it sort of feels a little bit more normal because I've been diamond painting like a fiend trying to get this kit done. I would like to get this one done by the 15th so I can spend the rest of the month working on my other spangler that I want to finish. But anyway, I was telling him sitting there watching football while I diamond painted just seemed normal. Not that we haven't done it since we moved here, but I don't know. I think it's still sinking in that we live here now, which probably seems like a weird thing to say after 6 months, but I guess we've really only been in the house since March. So that's only 3 months. Okay, so I'll cut myself some slack there. Yes, we've been here since November, but we were in temporary housing before that with the rental. So I knew it was temporary, which I think made it harder for my brain to settle in. I don't know if it has yet, but I'm doing some things that hopefully will make it feel more like home, not just moving into the house, but getting things set up the way we want, doing some repainting. We painted my son's room because it was just, I wanted him to be comfortable in it. But now I'm like, I kind of want to repaint my kitchen. Nothing wrong with the color that it is, but not the color I would have picked. So I think I want to repaint it. And most of our kitchen is cabinets. So there's not actually a whole huge amount of wall space in the kitchen anyway. So anyway, so lots of projects, and one of them has been our shower. Side note, it has been an adjustment getting used to having only one bathroom, but secondary side note, I love only having one bathroom to clean. That has made my life a lot easier until someone vents my Rosie the robot for me so she can clean my bathrooms. And then I could have as many as I want. Anyway, so in our shower, it has a pebbled floor. So it's like river pebbles on the bottom with grout, and then there's a sealer you have to put on it every couple of months. The sealant had cracked, which we didn't realize, and there was a big white spot on the floor because water was getting underneath the sealant and just kind of making the sealant bubble up. So we finally realized what was going on. And we're like, okay, this looks terrible. Let's just peel it all up, peel up all the old sealant, peel it down to the pebbles, and replace it. So that's what we decided to do. So hubby went and did a bunch of research and tried to figure out what's the stuff to use. The people who owned the house before had left us a bottle of the sealer they used, but we also needed to clean it before we applied it. So hubby went out after doing some research and got some cleaning stuff and some new sealant for us to apply. Now the one the people left us, you had to apply with a brush, and hubby is all about speed, so this new one said you could apply it with a roller. So first we had to get off all of the old ones. So hubby and I are in there with like a putty knife and a box knife trying to cut through. And sometimes where the water had gotten through, I could get my fingernails underneath it and just kind of peel it back, which was oh so satisfying, except that we got to a point where it was really thin and it would just kind of flake off in your hands. We couldn't get it to peel off nicely in some of the sections. So we're in there with like a wire brush trying to scrape off as much as we can, get it loose on the edges so we can peel it back with the edge of the putty knife or with our fingernails, whatever. But you're crawling around on these pebbles, which is not great. He's on his hands and knees. I'm on my rear end because there's no way my knees could have done that. And it took us, at first it was coming up in big chunks. And then after we got down to the nitty gritty stuff, it probably took us a good 2.5, 3 hours to get most of it off. So then hubby cleaned it all again. Then he put on several coats of sealant. Well, he put it on with a roller, which is what it said you could do, but hubby is very exuberant. And so after we let it all dry, it was all up the sides of the shower on the big flat tiles. So we thought, okay, well, we'll just like scrape it off with a razor blade and everything will be hunky dory. And he and I had discussed before we even started this project that we'll give it a try. And if this doesn't work, something goes wrong, it doesn't turn out how we like, we're probably going to look into somebody coming in and just ripping out the pebbled floor and just making it a regular tiled floor because it's hard to clean. I'm constantly afraid that I'm going to slip. It's just pebbles on the floor. Some of them stick up more than others, so if you stand in the wrong place, it's like pushing into the ball of your foot. So just not my ideal thing. Anyway, so we got it all put on, and then we realized after it dried that it was all up on the sides. So I said to hubby, well, let's just like scrape it off with a razor blade because I don't want to scratch up the tile, and we'll see what happens. We very carefully scraped it off with the razor blade, and it still looks bad. The floor, not the sides. The sides look fine now, but the floor of it is just, it's already, you can tell where it's doing that, where we didn't, because the sealant is clear and you can't see it very well. We're now noticing places where the water's already getting underneath some of the little spots that we couldn't quite get up even after going over it with the wire brush. So I have a feeling that we're going to end up calling somebody to come fix it for us and put in a regular floor. I mean, there's a tiny part of me that wants to get in there and peel all that off again, but it would kill my knees, I know. So yeah, we'll probably just be calling somebody to come replace the floor for us. It just cracks me up. I'm apparently blind today, so what I did the number 8s, and then I just realized I missed some, although now right here I missed all the 8s. And then how did I miss these 3 little arrows right here that I already did? I missed 2 ends that I already did. Like, where's my brain today? Like I said, I have been trying to kind of fly through this one. Some of it has been very nice because it is multi-placing, but then there is quite a bit of confetti, especially around the horse itself. But it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. Even with the confetti, it's gone faster, I think, than I thought it would. So I am 6 sections away from being done. So I'm hoping that I can finish this today and be done with this one so I can move on to the Spangler one. Because then I need to move on to the one that I kitted up with my art dot trays. That one won't take very long. It's much smaller. And then I need to figure out what I'm going to be doing. I need to unbox my next Spangler because the end of this month is the 3rd quarter, which means I need to start my 3rd Spangler. I think one of the 2 that I have left, one is round and one is square, so I'm trying to debate with myself which one I want to do first. If I should do the square one and get it out of the way, or if I should do the round one. I think the square one is bigger. After doing this one and the other Spangler that I'm working on, even though these are both round, they're both kind of big. Maybe I want to do a smaller kit. I don't know. Like I said, I keep putting off my squares. I'm going to get to a point where that's all I have left and I won't have a choice. Okay, so let me look and make sure I got all of those. I think I did. I'm actually really happy with all the ABs that I've been adding too. I'm actually have used up quite a few on this kit. This bag was pretty much full when I started. I may not use up the entire thing, but just using up as much as I have because this is kind of a color that doesn't always lend itself well to ABs. So I'm super happy about getting to use this one and a couple of the other ones that I've thrown in. Trying to look and make sure because sometimes they throw random ones in like over here, but then over here it's in this big section. Oh, there's another arrow that I missed. Anyway, so like I said, I'm working on this one and the afternoon tea. I'm going to be working on the rainbow one. My Forever Young tray set that I bought the 60 tray set that came with the little display stand, whatever you want to call it. So I want to kit up something into that, which is why I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next. If I want to kit up my spangler into that, or if I want to pick out a different project and kit that up into those trays to see how they work. I already have lots of ideas from people of ways to possibly set it up on my workspace so that it doesn't get in my way. Hubby and I are using a pool noodle on my little downstairs table to keep my canvases from creasing, which is what I was using while I was doing this downstairs, and it worked really well, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, I'm still looking for that elusive method that will let me diamond paint faster consistently. Maybe it's just because I've tried so many things and I haven't really stuck with any of them. But that's because a lot of them just felt awkward. So one of the reasons for me buying the Forever Young set was because the trays were transparent. Because the Art Dot set that I got was the ones without the lids are purple, are not transparent. And then somebody was like, oh, Art Dot has transparent ones with lids now, but they're removable lids. And I'm like, dang it, maybe I should try those. But I'm to the point, I think, where I'm like, how many of these am I going to buy before I'm done spending money trying all these things out? It just, I keep wanting it to work and for me to be faster from it because it is so much faster, even just to kit up, which seems like a weird thing to say because I'm pouring drills into trays just like I'm pouring drills into containers, but for some reason it feels like it takes less time. That could be because the ones that I've been kitting up into those kinds of trays, I've been picking smaller projects. So it goes faster because they're just canvases that don't have a lot of drills to begin with, so it feels faster. It's hard to remember to take all the variables into consideration when you're testing something like that. Maybe I should be more scientific about it and like write down some of these and my hypothesis and what's the variables, what are the constants, all that kind of stuff. But I just get too excited and want to dive right in because I got a new toy to play with. Okay, so what else is going on in my diamond painting life? Oh, I still want to try out a cross stitch conversion. I was telling my husband I feel like I have too many experiments going on. I've been experimenting with all these different tower tray methods. So I tried out the tray brick. Now I'm trying out the Art Dot. Then I got to try out the Forever Young. If I decide to buy anything else, then I'll need to try that out. I still am in the process of waiting to find a staticky kit so that I can finish all of my static testing for that video. I want to do a cross stitch conversion. I was actually debating how to film that because I want to do a cross stitch conversion. I've had in mind to do one for a long while. I told you guys that I purchased some cross stitch patterns. I have some cross stitch books. I have some patterns from Heaven and Earth Designs that I could use to do like a diamond painting. Probably not one of those. I don't think I have a big enough blank canvas for the ones from Heaven and Earth, but I definitely have smaller little like mini projects I could do. I guess for the ones that I bought that I'm going to put on the blank canvases, those wouldn't be too terribly hard. I just need to figure out what drills I need and get them kitted up and then go from there because I'm just putting them on the grid. But for like doing ones where I print out the pattern that I purchased because it's a digital pattern, then I got to figure out what size I need to make it when I print it so that it will be the right size for the drills, and that's a lot of math. And like, is anybody interested in watching me pull my hair out while I try to math and figure out what size I need stuff to be? Or should I just do all that kind of behind the scenes and then show you guys when I'm done and talk about what I had to do and how hard mathing was for me because numbers and I do not get along most of the time. Words I'm good with, numbers, not always. I used to be good with numbers, but we had a falling out years ago. Anyway, I was just curious if any of you would find that interesting or if that's something that I just, like I said, need to just do it on my own. I mean, I can still film some of the process, but maybe instead of talking my way through my thoughts and you guys listening to me ramble on about what I need to do and trying to figure stuff out, maybe I'm just afraid to show you guys how my brain works because it's crazy in there, folks, I'm telling you. Anyway, so if you'd be interested in seeing something like that where I show you like from beginning to end, kind of how I figure that out, let me know. Or if you think that would be insanely boring, let me know that too. I certainly don't want to bore anybody, but I also understand I'm not everybody's cup of tea. If I'm boring you, there's plenty of other diamond painters out there that you could watch. Also, on the diamond painting front, I think the consensus has been that, so we've been doing this diamond paint along for DP for Pets. We're going to do another diamond paint along in August, which is going to be flower themed. So if you have a kit that has flowers in it, then you're all set. We're going to do another paint along in August like we're doing now. No prizes, it's just everybody posting all their cute pics in the Facebook group and supporting each other while we all work on kits that are of a common theme. Then I had asked about doing one in October because DP for Vets is in November. I'm still planning to do that for now. Things may change between now and then, but for now I'm going to leave it on the schedule. So somebody had suggested doing a holiday theme in October and just letting everybody work on whatever holiday theme stuff they wanted to do. The consensus seemed to be that that was a good idea. That way, if you're doing drills and chills, you can be doing that in October. For our holiday paint along, if you want to do something Thanksgiving or Christmas themed, you can do that as well, or whatever holiday you might be working on. Like I said, I know a lot of crafters like to work ahead of time. There's people already busily working on Christmas gifts, so I think that will be the theme for October. Then November will be DP for Veterans, and then we will take the month of December off because I just think December is a hard month to do anything, even if it's just a paint along where people aren't competing for prizes or anything. It's just everything is so hectic for a lot of people around the end of the year. Even if it's not holiday related, there's just lots of stuff going on, and I feel like it would be less stressful to just say, nope, we're just going to skip December and we'll pick up another paint along in January. So that's my plan. We'll do flowers in August, we'll do holiday in October, we'll do veterans in November, and then we'll take a break until 2026. Good Lord, how are we already halfway almost through 2025? Where has the time gone? This year is just flying by in some ways. Kind of crazy. And I'm so behind on all of my goals and things. That'll be something I need to look at soon too. Here we're only halfway through the month right now, but I need to be thinking about, am I making any progress on my goals? Now that we're all kind of more situated in the house, everything's a little bit more stable. Our electric bill was less than it has been, so yay us for using less electricity. I still want to find out if there's a way for us to make the shed into like as self-sufficient off-grid as possible. We have enough room, we could put some solar panels out in the yard for it, but I don't know how many we would need to run it as a little apartment. Because you'd still have all this stuff for home like you would for a house. It's going to have a refrigerator, microwave, hot water. Although I would love to get an on-demand hot water heater. Is that redundant? An on-demand hot, it's not a hot water heater, an on-demand water heater. It's heating up the water instead of just having it sit there in the tank. Does anybody have one of those? I've heard people saying they're not as energy efficient as people claim, but how can it not be better than a hot water tank where it sits around heating up water you never use all day? Like that seems like a waste of electricity. Anyway, is there anything else diamond painting related I wanted to tell you guys? Oh, I don't know if anybody is still interested. I don't know if even any of the spots are still open. I saw something, Craft Pack Canada is hosting, or is one of the hosts, one of the committee, whatever, that's putting on a diamond painting retreat in Canada. I really wanted to go, but it was a little pricey for me right now. It's not until next year. You can do payments. I think she said they only had 29 spots, but it sounded really cool. So if you're in Canada or near the border in Ontario and you could make it over there, I think they said it was like 3 hours from Toronto. I'm not in that part of Canada, so I'm not sure how far that is from me. But I'd want hubby to go with me so we could do some sightseeing and stuff. And then it was like a bunch of like canoeing and hiking and outdoors type stuff, which is great, except I don't hike, I don't canoe. I might swim, but only if there's a pool and not a lake. I'm not a swim in a lake kind of person. I would love to go to a retreat, but I also know myself and I need my alone time. After I have people all day, I need to be in a space where it's just me so I can decompress and recharge. And a lot of the rooms were shared rooms. Like, I think she said they were suites, but shared suites. Like some of them had a separate bedroom with a door, but then there were like other beds in the suite. So even if you had a separate bedroom with a door, there were still people in the suite with you. And I was like, I need more privacy than that. I really want to go, but like I said, I'm such an introvert. I know I need my downtime and not having my own private space to retreat to, no pun intended. During something like that, I would be burnt out and I'd be ready to go by the end of the first day. And I don't want to do that to myself because I'd feel like, well, I spent all this money and I got to stay and tough it out. And I'd be so mentally exhausted by the time it was all over. So I'll just have to keep my eye out and see if there's anything else that comes up. I mean, I never went to one when I was in the States either, but maybe hubby and I will just take our own trip and go see some sights or something when we would have gone. Save the money we would have spent on that for something else. Who knows? But anyway, if any of you are interested, please go check it out. It's Craft Pack Canada. You can find her on Instagram or Facebook. I think she's on TikTok too. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know, but I think she's on TikTok too. So you can find information about it over there. I think it's next June is the actual retreat, but they were opening it up for reservations, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. I can't remember now. Anyway, all day Saturday I kept thinking it was Friday, and all day Friday I kept thinking it was Saturday, so my days are all messed up. Okay, is there anything else I wanted to tell you guys? I think that's it. I don't think I have too much other stuff going on. Like I said, I'm just been diamond painting a lot, trying to get through this. I've been watching all of your lovely photos on Facebook that everybody's been posting. I'm always amazed at the diversity of canvases that people find, even with something as simple as a pet theme. Lots of cute dogs and cats, and I think I've seen turtles and fish and tigers and birds and maybe a penguin. I can't remember. Anyway, oh, and an octopus too. I think I saw that. Okay, so I made a little bit of progress, not a ton, but a little bit. And I hope that everybody's been enjoying the diamond paint along as much as I have. Like I said, I've loved seeing all that everybody's photos. And I actually think it's been really relaxing. It's been way less stress for me not having to track entry forms and exit forms and finishes and who did this and who did that and all of that stuff. So it's been way more fun for me. And I think it's just given everybody, I hope, at least a little bit more freedom without all of those pressures. No size requirements, no requirements on finishes and that sort of thing. Just pick up your diamond painting, have some fun, share some cute pictures with everybody, and enjoy this hobby that we all love. Okay, I think that's enough rambling for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.